Hey everybody, it's Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I'm back again with another stamping show and tell. Today we're going to play with the High Tide stamp set. And for those of you who watched Monday's video, you know that I recently worked with the Case the Sketch Retro Sketch 166. And this one kind of follows the same idea, at least that's my jumping off point. However, my main image is kind of reversed this time. But remember, with a sketch, you make it your own. So this was my jumping off point, and here's where I landed. So let me show you how I put this one together. Okay, so something a little different. I don't do this often. This is a vellum card. So we're going to stamp the front panel and line it. Okay, and then we're going to stamp an inside panel, but the actual card itself, I don't know if you can see it, is see-through. It's a vellum card base. So when you give it to somebody, it's going to be light and airy, okay, and they're going to be able to see through the panels. So it's kind of different. Not something I do very often, but I thought this one would be kind of a neat change. So let me show you how I go ahead and put this project together. Okay, so here is my card kit and my envelope. We're going to stamp a lighthouse. We've got our words here on vellum. Then I've got my inside panel, my outside panel, and my card base. Okay? So let's go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment first, only because it's on vellum and I want to give it time to dry. So this one I'm using in high tide or low tide. I'll be by your side. So I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to stamp it out here kind of on the edge. Okay, and I'm going to let that dry. And then on the inside panel, since I'm doing the sentiments, I stamped the Let Hope Be Your Lighthouse, beckoning you through the stormy seas. So I'm going to stamp that on the inside panel. Okay, so there are those two pieces done. Now we're going to do the lighthouse. So what I recommend is I stamped the detailed stamp with smoky slate to begin with. Now I thought about doing the solid lighthouse first and then stamping the detail over the top, but I had a really hard time lining it up. So I found that if I stamp the detailed stamp first, okay, and these are photopolymer so you can see through, but if I do the detailed stamp first, and like I said, I did that with smoky slate because I just wanted a shadow of a lighthouse, and then in real red I'm going to come back in. And I found that I was able to position the solid lighthouse over the detailed pieces a little better. See how I do. It's difficult for me to look right over the stamp when I'm doing the videos because of where the camera is, but we'll give it our best. Not bad. Okay, so, and then I took my paper snips after it dried and I trimmed one out, so that's all done for us. But I just fussy cut that with my paper snips. Okay, so now we have to do our background stamping. Okay, so I'm going to start with crumb cake. I'm going to stamp the dunes. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp my dune right about there. Now something I just noticed with this set, and I've used it a few times, is that this has a footprint for where that lighthouse fits right in. So that's kind of interesting. But I guess if you wanted to just stamp everything on one image, then you don't have that overlap of ink and you don't have to cut out any kind of masking. So that's kind of a neat thing, but I did cut mine out. But there is that there. Now I'm going to take this same dune, I'm going to flip it over, sorry, no, I'm going to reposition it the same way, but I'm going to move it back so that that cutout is off of my paper. Hope that makes sense. So I'm just backing it up so that little cutout now isn't in my image. You see how the dune looks like it's coming and going? And then, let's see, nope, not far enough down. So one more time. I could overlap them. Yeah, alright, so this time my little gap is there. But then we have this other fun little stamp. Okay, it gives you the same kind of texture but just a smaller piece, and you can go in and fill that in if you want to. So any way you want to shape your dunes, you can work with those two stamps and create dunes. Okay, so that is our dunes in crumb cake. Now we are going to stamp with Balmy Blue. This is one of our new blues. With Balmy Blue, if I can get it open, there we go. We're going to do the water. So I'm just going to ink that up. And once again, it's like they planned it this way. This stamp is cut to fit into that dune stamp, so it can get very close. You can even overlap it a little bit if you want to. Okay, and I'm just stamped 2 in the bottom, and then I'm going to come around the side, and then I did some more as if the ocean was behind the lighthouse, because if the lighthouse is out on a dune, there would be water all around, right? Okay, so there's that. Now, while I have that water stamp handy, I'll show you what I did with the envelope. So on the back flap, I've been doing a lot of back flaps lately. I stamped some water, and then I'm going to bring in these fun seabirds. So in soft suede, because I want them to stand out from the dune, I'm going to stamp, first I'm going to stamp some seabirds here in the shallows. Okay, so there's our envelope. And then I'm going to go ahead and add them, so this is going to go on here. I'm going to add them to our dune. So just hanging out on the beach. Okay, so there's those birds. Now I'm also going to add the seagulls. I wanted something in the top of my card, so I'm going to add the seagulls up here. Okay, so lots of little details you can add with the set. Then I've got some of the seagrass. Okay, and you're just going to stamp that kind of wherever you want to put it, because seagrass kind of grows where it wants to. Okay, so there's that. Now, you're probably saying, why did you put that lighthouse on yet? Because I have to bring my vellum in. So vellum is kind of tricky to get put on your card without seeing the adhesive through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to hide it behind the lighthouse, where I'm going to put a dimensional on there to hold it in. So as I'm looking at this, I want my words there. My lighthouse is going to go here. It overlaps a little bit, so I actually need to trim that just a little, so that I don't have vellum sticking out the other side of my lighthouse. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put a long edge from my dimensional sheet on the back of that lighthouse. So from the top to the bottom, peel that off. Well, mine was a little bit long, so I'm just going to bend that up. That works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my words down like this. Okay, and you notice I've got some vellum over here, and I'll show you why in a minute. And this one's going to line up, this edge is going to line up behind the lighthouse. So I'm going to position my lighthouse. And at the same time, I've captured that vellum behind it. Pretty tricky, huh? I like it. Okay, now I'm going to turn this piece of Whisper White over. I'm going to add some snail right there, and I'm just going to fold this vellum back and tack it. Okay, and while I've got it there, I'm going to add some adhesive, because this is going to layer onto one of our real red mounting pieces. See? Now there's no adhesive behind our expression, but it is standing out from our card, but we've got it adhered behind both our lighthouse and our papers. Okay? Alright, so now we have to put these on our card front. Now part of me wanted to put them on dimensionals as well, but then being a vellum card, I was afraid it would be too heavy. So I'm just going to put them on with snail. So I'm going to add some snail here, and it's going to run out on me, of course. So I'm going to line this up on my grid. I'm going to position this like that. push that down. As you know, I always flip mine over and give it a rub. Okay, now since I just ran out of snail and there's not another one on the table, I'm going to have to switch over and use my liquid glue. That's fine, adhesive will work just fine. So I'm going to add this panel to the inside. Give it a shake. Get it down to that tip. You don't need a lot, you just need a little. Need more than that though, come on. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to flip that over, put that on my real red. Okay, and then I'm going to flip that over, put some adhesive on here. And the same idea, I'm just going to position this using my grid sheet so I know I'm square and in the center. Press that down so it adheres to the vellum. And there is our card project. So, I hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. It's a little bit of work, there's a lot of stamping, but it's fun. That's what we do, right? Paper, ink, and stamps. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up and comments are always appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to the Show and Tell News, do that below, and then you'll get this tutorial with its PDF attachment next Tuesday in the Show and Tell edition. And then you also have all your access to my VIP programs that I also host, my Card Candy, my Bundled Goes, my mystery shopping code online. And don't forget to check out all of Stampin' Up's great promotions they're running. We've got buy 3 get 1 free designer series paper going on, and we also have the recruiting promotion. You could do a trial membership, think of it that way, as a Stampin' Up demonstrator. You get $125 worth of merchandise for $99 with free shipping, but you do have to pay tax. And then you get to pick a free color family of ink pads this month. That's the bonus. So that's an additional $67.50 in savings. So if you're going to buy these ink pads, and like you said, I just used a whole bunch of different colors. If you're going to buy some of these new ink pads or you need to get the in colors, this is a great deal for you. So, no penalties. If after 6 months you're not making your minimum sales, there's no penalty. You keep everything that you've purchased at the discount, enjoyed the discount, and you can go back to being a VIP customer. So check it all out. If you have questions, please, please, please email me, call me, send me a message, and I will be happy to go through all the specifics with you. And until next time, have a great weekend. Happy stamping, everybody. Bye-bye.